get this show on a roll. Today we got an interesting topic to talk about. We got to talk about something that a lot of content creators, filmmakers, videographers, photographers, they're conflicted about. But the moment you accept money for a job, your ego needs to take a back seat. Today we're going to talk about just that, because we had some videos dropped last week where we had a little situation, and I feel like somebody gave some bad advice. But we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about why that is. And this is from somebody who is working with a lot of businesses. I've done a lot of B2C. We're doing mostly B2B, but the rules still apply. Before we do that, we got this intro, because you know what it is. Content and Cash Podcast, wherever you're listening or watching, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up.
You're listening to Content and Cash, a Flashfilm Academy podcast. If you want to learn how to take pretty pictures, this is not the place. But if you're ready to make a living by learning the business behind the camera, buckle up, because it's time to turn passion into profit with your host, Ty Turner.
What's good? If this is your first time on this channel, you got to know that this channel is designed to teach you the business side of content creation. You can go somewhere else to learn how to take pretty pictures or learn how to work your new Nikon camera. We ain't about that life over here. Over here, we're trying to get that bag and understand how to make money with this skill set, with this passion. And that's what we're here to talk about. That's what we're here to teach. That's what we're doing today. I want to talk about ego, because I think it's something that a lot of creatives, they stroke other creatives' ego, but they don't keep it real about how you need to keep your ego in check. They don't keep it real about how an ego can cause you to lose a bag. And you need to be mindful of how things change once you accept money for what you do, right? Artistry is second to the client wants and needs. But first, let me tell you, this video is brought to you by our Capture and Convert kit. Right there, 5 courses, 2 free ebooks, 2 easy payments of free $99. You can get it over at flashfilmacademy.com. Oh, that's good and loud. I just wanted to make sure I had your attention. Now that we got your attention, let's talk about a few things. And let me explain what a creative ego is and why it could hurt you, right? We know a lot of content creators who are so passionate about this camera skill that they want to create art. They got this mentality that they're artists and they want to make art, and people hire them to make art. And that's a good, unique way to look at it. I know a lot of people who feel that way, and that's cool. But the moment a client hire you, you are a content creator. If you were an artist, you would go create the art somewhere and they would show up and look at it and buy it. They're hiring you for the purpose of creating something for them. So you are not necessarily a work for hire unless you sign that agreement, but you are a hired hand. You are a service provider first. Now, the reason we talk about this is there was a video that I posted not too long ago where, there were 2 people on a podcast giving advice about somebody who was doing some wedding photography. They did it for a client. They had a unique style, and the client wasn't really feeling it when they got the pictures back. They were like, look, can you tone it down? Like, it's too much, right? And the advice that they were given was kind of sticking to your guns. This is your creative style. This is what they hired you for. And I got some great comments to talk about. This is what they hired him for, and yada, yada, yada. And that's his style. And they should have checked the style out before they hired me, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's just pause for a second, because this can either go one or two ways when you're in this situation and you want to fight about your creative style. First off, I'm going to ask everybody post where they're from in the comments so we can go and show y'all some love. Romania in the house. What's going on? So this can go one of two ways when a client is asking you to tone down your style, right? This can go one of two ways. One is your way. You get to keep your creative style. You talk to the client and say, hey, client, this is my style. This is the way we going. I'm leaving it. Right? You can fight for your style. And at the end of the day, that client is going to walk away with their images, with your style on it, and you're happy, but you will never hear from that client again. That client will never refer business to you. They won't even speak highly of you. But creatively, you got to feel good, right? Your ego is stroked. You are in the place to be mentally. Or you can do what the client asks and make sure the client is happy so that the client can refer people, the client can hire you again, the client can be ecstatic and leave you good reviews and everything. So the thing is this is what I want you to think about. Whose money is on the line here? Who's spending money? Who's getting value from what you offer? Is it you or your client? That's who ego you need to stroke. And a lot of times, especially when you go from B to C to B to B, you will realize that what they had in mind is a whole lot simpler than what you had in mind. Their idea of success is a lot simpler than your idea of success because you are a trained content creator who live in the world of content, who want to create better content than they made yesterday. That client is asking for level 3, and in your mind, you're trying to provide level 23. It's not always a good thing. So this is why in module 1 in our master course, and we talk about it every week, we have a thing where we like to set the expectation, right? Understand what success looks like for our client, not for us. My idea of success is completely different than what my client wants. And if I don't set this expectation day one, I am going to either overshoot or undershoot. Either way is going to cause a problem because I'm either going to overwork or not provide enough. I would much rather understand what that level of expectation is so that I can underpromise and overdeliver. I can't score a touchdown if I don't know which direction I'm running in, right? These are things that should be in your systems and processes as you work with your client and work with every client. Set the bar of what the expectation is and feed that expectation, not your ego. You got to understand that your ego is secondary. If you want to be an artist, I fully respect that. Go in a dark room, go create art, and then try to sell it. That's not what we're doing here. When we're working with clients, when we become a service-based industry, we have to provide what the client wants, not what we want. And if that hurts your ego, you may not be ready for business. I'm just gonna be 100 with you. And we talk about whether or not you may or may not be ready for business, and we talk about it here. All right. These are the things we talk about. All right, there you go. So I think that it's important for you to know, for me to get a check, for me to make money, for me to do this, I have to make sure my client is happier than me. It's about the client. It's not about me. I'm happy to I'm happy to get a check. Once I get my check, I can go be creative all the hell I want with the money I've made somewhere else. But being creative, I know it's crazy that you'll hear this, but when you listen to a lot of gurus on YouTube that's selling gear and telling you need all this gear and these lenses to be creative because creativity drives business, the truth is it don't. Results drive business. Your client don't want pictures. They want what the result of pictures are for them. They don't want pictures. You think they want pictures. They don't. They want the result of those pictures, whether it be to put those pictures in training, whether it be to show their wedding day. They want the result of that content. You're caught up in the content because you're this artist who create and paint with his camera through his lenses and all of that crap. Cool. Do that when you want to feel real artistic. But when you're getting a check, when you're providing a service, providing that service is number one. Period. Let me see. We got some questions that popped up. And if you got questions, go ahead and post them. Let's talk about it. So, great question that popped up. It says, can a content creator not work with certain content or say no during hiring? Absolutely. It's your business. You know, the number one thing I love about running my business is the fact that I can say no. Hell, I can say kiss my ass. I can say whatever. But that's what's great about running your business. However, This plays into the understanding of business. And let me tell you why. Here at Flashfilm Academy, we teach you to build a business to go after your target audience. So to even not only go after your target audience, but attract your target audience. So very rarely would you get a client that's not something you want to work with unless it's a personality trait. And I've worked with incredibly hard people. I've worked with incredibly hard, famous people, and the check is big, and it's up to you to decide what I'm gonna deal with. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? It may not be. For some people, it's not worth it. Sometimes you get a check and it's worth it. Let's be real. Sometimes you get a check and it's worth it. The choice is yours, but the ego you should be stroking is not yours. It's your client's. You want that check to get bigger? You want to sell add-ons and upsells? The ego you should be worried about is not yours. You are there to provide a service. The better you are at providing that service and getting those results, the greater chance your client becomes a cheerleader and a sales rep for you. The greater chance you get hired by this client over and over and over again. That's the goal. Anybody who tell you they use their camera and they make money and the goal is something other than that, they're not being honest with you. Business before everything. Period. If you're trying to make money with this, the business has to come first. Period. It's not even close. Go when you cash a check from a client, then you go be creative. Go do all the creative stuff you want with your profits. But for your client, provide world-class customer service and provide world-class service to this client, because you don't know how many clients could come from this client. And just like a restaurant you ate at that you'll never eat at, a lot of people don't say nothing. They're just like, oh, okay. And you don't hear from them. I want clients to promote what we do. I want clients to refer people. I want clients to be happy. When you have a happy client, they'll find stuff for you to film so that they can pay you and bring you back. When you have a happy client, the goal is not, and this is the idea that a lot of people think that having a photography or a videography company is going out finding new clients every month. It's not. It's getting 20 solid clients that hire you throughout the year to make 6-7 figures. It's not bringing in new clients every 30 days. It's having a group of clients businesses need content every day. Nobody needs one picture. Nobody needs one video. If you got hired to do one thing and they never came back, they didn't like your work. Your work didn't do what they thought it was going to do. Sorry, not sorry. It's the harsh reality of, if somebody hired you to do work and they never call you back, it's because your content didn't do what they wanted it to do. Because I guarantee you they need more content. Let me see, there was a question that popped up. 14 Love Space said, I hire out equipment and one of my clients is acting sketchy, not communicating, and delaying payment. I'm out of town and he still hasn't returned the equipment. Well, one is, do you have a contract? And two, when you hire out equipment, what information do you have in place to ensure that you get your equipment back? Or are you just hoping they bring it back? Those are things in our contract pack, we have a equipment loaner, and we have an equipment loaner contract that talks about what happens when you loan out equipment and what happens if you don't bring it back or if you break it. So something you may want to look into. I'm not sure if you have a contract for that or it was just a handshake deal, but I'm not doing the handshake deal to loan out equipment. That's just me. Let me put this on the screen, because if you have a big question, I want to hear about it at questions.flashfilmacademy.com. It's there. It'll allow you to record audio, and we'll play that audio in the next show and answer your question. But let me put that on the screen again, because I want to know. Oh, that's the wrong one. I want to know what do you need help with? I played it 3 times. I want to know what questions you need help with when it comes to growing your business. There we go. Let me put that. There you go. What's the number one thing you need help with when it comes to growing your business? You can go there and go knock it out. Let me see. I got some more questions that popped up. Night Sun Studio. We already have a team dedicated for video. How do we respond to this? I really like this question. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I love this question. Let me put on my, let's do this real quick. Let me tell you, there are 5 questions that you need to ask before you even get to this point. So I'm going to address the question and I'm going to tell you the 5 things that a lot of people don't understand because they're listening to just bits and pieces on YouTube and they're trying to go out and do it. Okay. A few things. One, you shouldn't even be in front of a client that you need to convince that video is for them or what you have to offer is for them. So what do I mean when I say that? That person may not be your target audience. That is a question usually from a person who's trying to sell video to everybody, and they've come across clients who are not in their demographic, who are not their target audience, who are not within their niche. So what that tells me is we haven't established a niche. We haven't established a target audience. We haven't established a beta client to understand who may need our services and who may not. That is why information and training is so important, because there are 5 or 6 things that didn't take place to put us in this situation. That had we built our business to do what businesses do, we wouldn't be in this situation, right? Because you shouldn't be pitching to somebody who don't need your services. You can't overcome the fact that they have a dedicated video department. I've worked with companies that had dedicated video department, but you know why? It's because I had a niche. My company specialized in something that they rather trust with my brand than their dedicated video department. So because we solved the problem and they looked at their own dedicated video department and say, well, I don't really think that they're built around solving this problem. We're going to go outside of the house to get this problem solved. They hired me and their dedicated video department came to watch me do my thing. So it comes down to building a business that solves a problem. And if your business don't solve a problem and all you do is general video, then their dedicated video department is better than you because they're already under payroll and we know what they do. You can't compete with that. To compete with that, you need to specialize in something. We've hired plenty of contractors and we had all the tools, the hammers to do it, but we hire a contractor because they specialize in whatever project we want to do in our house, period, right? And that's something that you need to be mindful of as you grow your business. That's why you have to, understand what needs to happen before we get to this point. And a lot of times, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, a lot of times when people join and they take module 1, I tell you, you're going to hate me before you love me because you realize there's a lot of stuff you're going to have to redo. There's a lot of stuff you're going to have to pull up and break apart and replant because you thought you did it right, but there are some key fundamental portions that you are missing that you should have in place so that you don't come across these problems. And these are some of the things that a lot of content creators who watch go through and they don't know what they don't know. This is something that you won't run into if you build the business right. Period. Right? So just something to think about. A few other questions that popped up. 14 Love Space said he don't have a contract. Yeah, contracts are, we got equipment rental. If you go to flashfilmacademy.com, go to contracts, you can buy it individually or you can buy it as a group. But we have contracts on renting out equipment and what should be in place when you run out of equipment. And just something to think about. So our contracts are a little different than what you would find online because we poll you all and our members to find out what they run into in the industry, and we create clauses based off those issues. So unlike just having a contract from a lawyer, which gonna only talk about payment terms, or some BS free contract that you get online that people can, you can get a court-appointed lawyer to run through. Our contracts have been designed based off the industry, what you all run into. We take those clauses and we legally write them and put them in contract form. I'll give you an example, simple stuff, right? Let's make sure wedding photographers eat. That should be in your contract. Because if you get there and you've been shooting for 12 hours and you're hungry and the bride and groom is looking at you like, hey, I'm not about to give you a $75 plate. I'm not about to give you a $50 plate. That needs to be in your contract. Not only that, when you eat needs to be in your contract, right? I used to do wedding photography. I can tell you the best time to eat. The best time to eat is right after the bride and groom receives their plate. Why? Because everybody else is in line to eat. The only time you have to rest as a photographer or videographer is while people are eating, because people don't want pictures like this. So if you get fed last, you got to woof through your food because now the bride and groom is back walking around talking to people. But if you eat right after the bride and groom, right before everybody else eat, you're done eating when the bride and groom is done eating. And you can capture the images of the bride and groom going table to table, thanking people. These are things that you should know or have in place as a wedding photographer or videographer, because that's what they run into. Any wedding photographer or videographer on here know how valuable it is to not only eat, but to know when to eat. Some people have wedding planners, some people don't, but this should be in your contract. If you got grandma in the front row and she got a big iPad taking pictures and you missed the first kiss because grandma got an iPad, there needs to be a clause for that. We got one called one of my favorite is called the uncle clause, right? Because we always got somebody at an event that want to talk you to death about camera stuff. Yeah, I got you shooting with hey man, listen, I got work to do, bro. I'd like to kick it with you and we can talk cameras, but I got work to do. I got 2 warnings before I have the ability to shut down shop. Or it's in my clause so that the bride and groom know, hey, I have the ability to warn you about an uncle or cousin or whoever that's preventing me from doing my job. So those are things that if you've been a wedding photographer, you know you've run into. Another thing I talk about, one of my favorite clauses talks about drone work and fireworks or fire or gunshots at weddings. I'm in Texas. It happens. If I got a drone in the air, I'd like to know that you plan on having Roman candles. I'd like to know. And if you don't tell me, we got a problem. Or if you're going to be Yosemite Sam at your wedding and I have female members on my team or even male members on my team, I'd like to protect them by understanding that firearms may be at this event. Or fireworks. I'm a veteran. I got other veteran photographers. They may suffer from PTSD or whatever. Like, we need to know about this stuff. So those are things that we've run across being out, in the industry, and they should be in your contract. All right. I'll post that one quick time and let me answer some more questions to get off contracts. Let's see. Let me see what other question popped up real quick. A lot of clients have you on board and then want to add film reels and other content that require too much attention for the budget. Do we up the price or say no? Okay, let me tell you how we teach it at Flashfilm Academy. And this is every time we cover something that's in module 1, I'm just gonna post this because a lot of stuff that people ask is covered in module 1. Okay, the way we teach our pricing is a little different because we have a strategy on how we're going to upsell, or we have a la carte items that clients can buy. So we're not doing where I just write you a quote and your price is $2,300. If you provide a breakdown and they come back and say, you know what, we didn't get this at first, but we want to click this box and add it, then the price is there. We incentivize them to add more stuff because we make it easy for them to do business. And if you're not doing that, you're missing a lot of money. Because I can't tell you, and we talk about it inside in the membership, but I can't tell you how many $500 clients we turned into $10,000 clients. It wasn't because they didn't have the money. They just had no idea what it cost. They had no idea what was available. You ever go somewhere and buy something and somebody else orders something and you look at their food like, damn, if I knew I could have got that, I would have got that instead of this. Well, guess what? That happens a lot with your clients. You're just not aware of. 15 Love Space said the eating clause makes so much sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. So there are things that when you present things to a client, there's ways that you present it to give them the ability to say yes or no. You may go over budget and have a client say, you know what? It's a little too much. Okay, well, what do you want to remove? instead of me saying, all right, I'm gonna adjust the price. You lose integrity by having the ability to lower your price to somebody's budget. You look bad. Now you look like you tried to overcharge them and get them. Instead of saying, okay, let's remove these 2 items. When you go to Apple and you go buy a computer, if it's over your budget, you remove stuff. You lower the memory. You get a smaller hard drive. You may get a smaller screen. You downsize. You don't say no. You just get something that's within your budget. And how many times have you went to the Apple website and went over your budget? I guarantee you, you probably went over your budget more than you went under your budget because you're like, I can get so much more for another $200. Okay, boom. Dang, I can upgrade again for another $300. Boom, and you do it and you end up spending 50% more. Let me tell you who does a really good job at this. Go to the movie theater. Get a medium popcorn and a small drink. You know what they're going to say? You can get a medium popcorn and a medium drink for 25 cents more. You say, okay. And you know what they're going to say? You can get a large popcorn and a large drink for $1 more. You say, okay. Hey, you close. You can get the huge bucket of popcorn and a gallon of drink for $2 more. You're like, damn, let's do it. But you know what? They worked you from $5.50 to $28 for some ice cream or for some popcorn and for some drinks. They worked you and walked you up to scale and they priced you out. They didn't ask you what's your budget. They just gave you offers you couldn't refuse. And they dangled value in front of you and you bid. Your clients will do the same thing if you present it in a way that make sense. All right, let's talk about it. Can content creators having issues of control, what steps or what they can shift their mindset to be more understanding of the client? Is this something that FFA teaches? Of course. Marcus is a Super Gold Platinum member. He know we teach that. The thing is this. You can't control something if you're not experienced in it, right? And if you're working with B2B or you're working with clients, it's more important that you speak their language than speak your language. Right? Just like you trust mechanics who understand if you got a Toyota and the mechanics say, yeah, we had this problem with Toyotas all the time. We just fix X, Y, and Z, and then they usually run fine. You feel more comfortable than if a client came talking, this sensor need to be rerouted to that sensor and the map sensor need to be, you like, what? But the fact that they are comfortable in the niche of the type of car you have makes you trust them more. Whatever they say you need is probably right because they just told you all they work on is Toyotas. And when I look around, I see a bunch of Toyotas. That's more valuable than him talking tech talk to you. The map sensor need to be rerouted to the C. You can be like, what? It didn't matter. So when you go talking 4K, 6K, slider, gimbal, you sound like the mechanic that's talking about parts. When you go and you talk about how, this type of shot can add depth to your video to keep viewers' attention longer to a client who's having a problem with retention, you just got yourself a new client. So it's not what you say, but how you say it. And there's a reason why it's so important to have a niche where you understand your client. That's the number one key to selling. If you can't talk their language, imagine your doctor came in and was like, that bone, that muscle right there, it ain't supposed to be like that. Like it should be a different color. That muscle should be, you would be like, what? The fact that your doctor can name muscles and body parts on you that you don't even know and it's your body, it makes you listen to what he got to say. He's instantly the smartest person in the room about that topic, which is your body, something you live with every day. And if a doc say, take this, you're going to take it. Hey, I'm going to write you a prescription for this. I'm going to write you you're like, okay, whatever. Take 2 of these pills. You're going to do whatever he say because he know what he's talking about, or at least you feel that way. As a content creator, so many of us run in and what we want to be the subject matter expert on is just cameras. But just cameras don't help the client. The camera is the tool that you use to provide the service to the client. But to provide a service that a client values, you need to understand the client and what they value and who their target audience is and what they plan on growing. Let me just post that again because it's here. There you go. All right. These are things you need to know when you work with a client that makes you valuable, that makes you more than just a camera guy. Be more than just a camera guy. And this is how you be more than just a camera guy, by understanding the industry that you're working in. So important. Do you have insurance contracts? What if I set and something broke and it wasn't my fault? What should I do to avoid this? Okay, Sam, 2 ways to cover it. Let me go back to this again, because listen here again. And here we talk about the insurances you need. Wait, wrong way. Okay, we talk about the insurances you need before you even start to go in business. It's fairly cheap. It's like $35, but it'll cover up to $2 million. That's one. Number 2, you need a contract that states that if something, I'm not worried about you tripping on something, but what if the wind blow and it knock over a light stand and that light stand crush a lamp? Who's at fault? Who's at fault? There's contracts for that. There's contracts that talk about who's at fault if that situation happened and who's at fault in that environment. And the fact that you have the ability to create content in that environment. If y'all not doing property releases and y'all filming somewhere and it's somebody's house, let that video go viral at their house. Let them see that their house on a stock footage site because you decided to sell the extra stock footage to make money. You're going to be in big trouble. If you don't have a property release, if you don't have model releases, people, you don't have the ability to use their likeness on your website for your testimonials. They didn't, just because they recorded a testimonial, don't mean they gave you permission to market with it and have a face on your Facebook ads. Do you have a model release? These are things that you need that you don't want to come back and bite you. All right. Razor Kid said, with beta clients, do you take constructive criticism or do you stick to measurable results? Okay, there is a whole chapter that break down what you should expect from I'm gonna post it again. We're gonna keep doing this. Sorry guys, but a lot of questions we get are there. So there's a whole chapter dedicated to understanding how to approach a beta client, what you should get from a beta client, what's important in the relationship, because you should be doing both with your client. Like buying an Apple product, can you buy the base model or can you click and upgrade anything you want at the price of courses? At the price of course, yes. Yes, it's set up. The way we teach it is you want to itemize items. I never give a client one bill and say, hey, to film it is $300. That doesn't break down anything. Everything is itemized. Everything is itemized. Great question coming in on the gram. Let me see, hold up. 14 Love says, I'm a film student. I was led to believe it's all about creativity, but I quickly realized without financial, it's very hard to be creative. I'm limited. I can't even see the rest. It says I'm limited. What are good financial practices I can look into growing this? It'll get you further than any gear. You can rent gear. You can't rent the brand. Dump all your money in building the brand. You can rent the gear. You can't rent the website. You can't rent your ability to get clients. You can't rent your ability to appeal to clients. That's the part that got to be bought. The part that they're selling you, the part that you're falling for can be rented. I can pass that cost on to my client. Why am I killing myself for a $3,000 camera and I don't have $3,000 clients? Some of y'all shooting in 4K and you're not making 4K a client. That's a problem. It's because y'all thought the gear was going to get you further than this. It will not. Build the business, turn on the faucet, bring in the clients, and then go buy the gear you want. You can rent everything that you want, that you're dying and itching to have, everything that they're showing you every week that's dropping, and 20 of your favorite YouTubers just so happen to have a video about this product where they've been all in the Grand Canyon filming with it and shooting night videos. They all just so happen to have a video that dropped on the day of product launch. Well, that's weird. How did they get it and shoot a review 10 minutes after I found out this thing even existed? Think about that. That's all I'm going to say. Just think about that. The important part is this. It's the boring, ugly, unfun part of your business. A majority of being a photographer or videographer is being on the phone. Period. A majority of it is talking to clients and understanding what success looks like for those clients and closing those sales. A majority of what I do is not in the studio all day creating. I wish it was, but the truth is it's not. Me touching the camera is 25% of my business. And it should be 25% of yours if the goal is to grow your business and make profit. Period. Somebody that's filming all day doing it for free. How? How are you talking to clients? How are you strategizing? Think about it. Razor Kids say module 1 made me work with beta clients. Those clients showed me how to get how things work. Ty's legit. There you go. The system I teach, listen, this is what I want to kind of put out there a little bit because I think it's important. I'm not here to teach you what to think. I'm here to teach you how to think, right? So I'm here to say, hey, this is why you should choose a niche based off your area, your location, your skill set, your gear, right? Now that you've chosen that niche, this is how you need to get the information so that you can sell in that niche. Not from me. I don't want to lie to you and tell you I know whatever your niche is people want. It's not up to me to decide what they want because what they want in New York is different than what they want in Virginia. It's my job to teach you how to understand what they want in your area and what to charge them for it. There's companies that I've talked to the owners, I had no idea they were doing $500,000 a year. No idea. Here I am scared to offer them a $2,000 video. And I found out that they got a $200,000 marketing budget. I look too cheap to them. But these are things you don't know until you know. And there's only one way to get this information. You can guess. Go for it. Guess and try to figure it out and spend the next 5 or 6 years hoping you have success. I'm just going to teach you how to get straight to it. Period. I'm gonna teach you a method that works based off you and your life and your situation in your area, your country, your county, wherever you are. My goal is to teach you how to get the information to move forward. Period. There is no do this and do that. It don't work like that because what works for one person over here don't work for the other person. But if I teach you how to find the information, what you need, hey, these are the 10 things you need to know from this person to move on to the next step. When you get that information, this is what we need to do with that information. We need to apply it to this, and this is why. That's how we teach. So a little bit different. A little bit different. Any other last questions real quick? Make sure we ain't missing nothing on the gram. No questions on the wait, okay. Give people a little time to pop up. Again, I'm gonna post it one last time. Because I want to know what's the one thing you need help with when it comes to growing your business. We're going to create content on it. We're going to help you understand or get over that hump. All right? Give people a few seconds. Let me go back to the initial topic because ego is something that will destroy your company. You have to put your ego to the side. It's not about what you want. It's about what the client wants. It's not about your ego. Let me make sure I put an asterisk because people think they don't think disqualify. When we talk about ego, we also talk about style. Your style is secondary to what makes the client happy. Unless you can justify your style with results, unless you have a case study to say, listen, we shot it like this because your target audience needs X, Y, and Z. That's why we shot it like this. If your ideas or style doesn't help do something, it's just ego. Period. And if your client don't like it, then don't do it. But if they say, hey, tone it down, tone it down. Now, there are times, let me give you an example of something that was taken as a style, but was not, right? We shot some videos for a local college, a local business college. And after talking to that client, we realized that client wanted a recruiting video. And if you're a member of the site, you've heard this story before. Well, they wanted a recruiting video to appeal to a younger audience and the parents. And this is something that they didn't think about. They were like, hey, they want a recruiting video. And my question always was, for who? So we determined that they wanted to reach parents and students. So we created 2 videos, right? Understanding this, 1, turn 1 sale into 2. Okay. But it ain't just about getting more money out the client. It's about delivering more results for the client so that their return on investment is worth it. When we shot the younger version video, it was quick cuts, a lot of movement. Is what they used to call the MTV style. When we shot the video for the older parents, it talked about how safe the campus was. It was slower moving shots. It was more longer, 8 seconds. All the shots were 8 seconds. It was just different. We had traditional facing interview style clips. The video for the younger people, we had side shots and different movements, and it was quick, fast. We didn't hold any shots longer than 4 seconds. In the beginning, the company was like, well, what's up with this video for the younger people? Like, what's up with the younger video? Why is it so different? The reason is the audience is different. This video is dedicated for a TikTok, Vine, Instagram audience who don't have a long attention span. The older people like longer movies. Go back and watch Westerns. They hold shots forever. The older the movie, the longer the shots are. Nowadays, everything is quick, even handheld, because that's what they like. Carlos, I like that question. An advanced question. How do we find out what keywords our potential clients are using to find companies like ours? All right, Carlos, you know the answer to this question. But I'm gonna say it. So inside Flashfilm Academy, we have a section in our accountability meeting where we talk a lot about the AI tools we're using, right? Other people are telling you about AI tools to help create and have better pictures and color. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. But what AI tools can we use to bring in business? So we have a few tools that we're using to help research what our clients are looking for based off keywords. And we use those tools to then create articles or content or information on our website that speaks to those keywords. Not only that, we use AI tools that are designed to help us track where we rank when it comes to those keywords. Some of those things can be found on a tie list over at Flashfilm Academy, some of those tools. But the goal is again, we're trying to catch people earlier in the buying stage. And that's something that most photographers and videographers never think about because they don't solve problems and they don't have a niche. They don't have a brand that's built around the idea of solving a problem. So they don't know who they're trying to help. They just trying to help anybody that needs photo or video. And you're not going to be in business long if you're trying to just get everybody. If you're hoping that somebody just wake up and need photo or video, that you're catching them too late in the buying stage. You're catching them further, deeper down in the buying stage when they're making purchasing decisions. And we need to catch them earlier when they realize they have a problem, right? When you realize you have a problem is where I need to catch you, because then you're going to do research. So I don't want to be in the search results when you wake up hungry and you decide that you want to search for restaurants in your area. I want to catch you the moment you know you hungry to tell you that there's a restaurant around the corner. Now, before you start researching what restaurants there are or why what is better, I'm already in your face. I'm already the authority on your choice. That's why companies like, and we were talking about this yesterday, companies like Gatorade, they don't market to people who are thirsty. They market to people that's going to be thirsty by showing you guys carrying Gatorade walking into the gym, by showing you guys that are prepared to be thirsty. They found a way to sell to you before you became thirsty. They caught you earlier in the buying stage by saying, if you're going to work out, if you're going to sweat, you need Gatorade. They didn't wait to see you were thirsty and then you search what's the best thing to drink. By then, you would have had some water. So that company understands the importance and the problem they solve. Gatorade solves the problem of thirsty people who have lost electrolytes that's working out. That's the problem they solve. Well, let's get in front of this problem before it happens by targeting people who working out, who playing sports, who doing activities. They understand the importance of reaching you earlier in the buying stage. Well, guess what? There are people that need training video, that need content, that need wedding photographers long before they decide to purchase it. Where are you to get their attention? Are you in front of those people that's looking to read about this topic or understand or learn what's the right stuff for me? Are you there? And a lot of content creators aren't. They're only at the stage where it's time to purchase, and now you got to compete with everybody. Now you got to have the best portfolio. It's harder to compete at that level. Let's reach you earlier in the buying stage. The moment you realize you have a problem, Let's present ourselves as the problem solver. But a lot of content creators don't solve problems. They take pictures. That's a problem. You're not going to make it because everybody can take pictures. Everybody can shoot video. Everybody got a phone in their pocket, and this is what they do. Everybody don't solve problems, and everybody don't solve a specific problem. Solve problems, you will have clients. Solve big problems, you will cash big checks. Something you need to think about. Where can people get the modules? You can get the modules at Flashfilm Academy. You can get the modules at Flashfilm Academy, or you can download the app. You can join. You can be a member. That's what we do. All at flashfilmacademy.com. You can download the app in your app store. There you go. I'm a tall boy, said good stuff. 2 questions. Do you do website reviews? And is having a website needed in 2024 for this industry? We don't do website reviews, even though we're going to start over in our accountability. And the website is 1000% needed for this industry. You shouldn't be touching anything. I'm going to tell you, if you had $1,000 to your name, I would tell you to get a website before I told you to get a camera. You can go spend $1,000 on your camera. You can sit it in your front window. I guarantee you nobody will stop walking down the street and knock on your door for pictures. Them days are over with. That worked in the 1800s, 1900s, whatever. The days of just having a camera is not enough. Everybody have camera. Everybody got 4K. We got some phones that shoot 8K. How does that help the client? It may hurt the client. Having a website is the most important part of your business. It is the most important part. So before you go and thinking that investing in a lens will make you money, invest in your website. Invest in having front-end designers. Invest in having copywriters. Invest in the aesthetics of your website. It is the most important thing about your business. Period. Everyone can shoot video but can't edit. I mean, that's subjective. Because usually when I'm filming corporate stuff, there ain't no crazy cuts. It's the most simple, basic editing needed. Your client don't want all that. We're not shooting music videos. They don't need all those crazy cuts and edits. They need quality audio, a well-exposed image, timely cuts, and mixed audio, and the correct color, period. Another question popped up. Let's see. What do you think of writing articles that target your ideal client, as well as collect their information via written articles, backlink to your website? I think that is a very important aspect that content creators are not understanding. And it is one of the leading ways to get clients in 2024. And it don't cost you anything. There are some tools you can use to help write articles, but we talk about that heavily in the inside because we want to reach clients earlier in the buying stage. We don't want to reach them when they're making a purchasing decision because now we got to compete with the crowd. If I reach you earlier, there is no competition. And 99.9% of all photographers and videographers who claim they want to do this and make money, they don't understand the value of that. You don't want to compete and you want your phone to ring all day and night? That's what you need to be doing. And a lot of content creators don't understand the value of that when it comes to bringing in clients. The idea of, and let me just say this because a lot of our members understand the idea of you going to get clients is not real. You're not going to wake up one day and make phone calls and go get clients. You're going to be where clients look. Again, I've said this a million times, and if you've watched this channel, you know I've said this a million times. Plumbers don't knock on your door. When you need a plumber, they are where you look. When you have a broken pipe or leaking, they are where you look. They're not knocking on your door like, hey, I see you got a house. I know you got some pipes. Is everything cool? No, you'll be like, get out of here. No soliciting. But when they need help, when your pipes are breaking and they're spraying water, you're frantic. You're looking for the person that solves that problem. You'd be surprised at how much in your life works that way. Now, it's great to let them know that you're there. There's brand recognition method of marketing, but until you're making an X amount of dollars, you shouldn't be doing that. That doesn't help you. You're not available enough places where brand recognition will help bring you more business. You need to be where people who have problems look. You need to be presenting yourself as the best solution to that problem. I'm giving you the game for free 99. When you're ready to put it together and understand how you need to build it, it's not hard. It makes sense once we lay it down and put it together. It's not a hard thing to do. It's just that people don't understand the customer buying process. Even though we do it all day, every day, people don't understand it because they've never looked at it from the flip side. They've only experienced what it's like to go through that process of buying something, right? We've all looked at YouTube and watched videos about something we wanted to buy before we bought it. That's the information stage of the customer buying process. If we liked it and it was great, we left reviews. So it's super important. 14 Loves say, how important is name and logo in terms of attracting clients? Mine's Kingdom Kid Productions. Does that institute I make good content for kids? My approach was to sound youthful. Okay, let me talk about it because my members are going to cringe. But we have a whole section dedicated to why name, logo, color scheme is all important. And it's not important to what you think. If you like it, it's wrong. It ain't about what you think. You're not buying from you. You're not even your ideal client. You have never spent X amount of dollars on video or photography in your life. It's not about what you like. Unless you want to take money out your right pocket and put it in your left. It's about what your client like. So we talk about how to vet and find out what's the best for your brand based off the problem you solve and who you solve it for. I don't care if your mama, your cousin, I don't care if you think it is dope. It don't appeal to your client because you are not your client. Y'all don't come from the same places. Y'all don't have the same, the same lifestyle. Y'all don't make the same decisions. Y'all don't have the same businesses. It's not about what you think. It's about what your client think. So we talk about methods of getting that information. Okay. Tall boy, if you on this week accountability meeting tomorrow, if you're a member, send it to me and we'll go over it tomorrow. We'll go over it on the accountability meeting tomorrow. So our accountability meeting is built for things like that, where we can look at just what everybody's doing that week, ups and downs, what they're going through, iron sharpen iron. A lot of times we'll look at websites, we'll look at videos people completed to give feedback. So if you posted in the accountability section, we will go over it tomorrow. And that goes for anybody else that want to get their website reviewed that are gold members or members of Flashfilm Academy. So yeah, we'll go over it for sure. Because we have a section dedicated to what you need on your website. Right? What the purpose of your website is, where you need to gain trust, where you need to provide information, where you need to provide proof. We kind of go through the steps of what clients look for when they hire you. So very important that you understand that. Let me get a last few questions before we slide out. There you go. And then we'll give people time. The goal is, listen, the moment you exchange money with a client, you are a service provider. Provide the best service you can provide so that clients will refer you and continue to hire you. It's not about you. I'm Tall Boy, say I'm not familiar with the accountability meeting. So the accountability meeting is inside the app. It's for Flashfilm Academy members. We have it every Wednesday. Yeah, once you get inside the app, it'll break down how to get access to it and everything. So we want to keep in mind that our job is to provide service to our client. Our tools are our cameras. Don't let your ego get in the way of providing the best customer service you can provide. Don't let this idea of being this great artist block your bag, because you're gonna be a starving artist. Where do you think the term come from? Starving artists are starving artists. They're exactly that. They rather be artists than business owners. So they're starving artists. I'm not about that life. And listen, I have nothing against being creative and being an artist on your terms, on your time, in your space. I don't believe that's the case when it comes to working with clients. You may, in your mind, your ego is telling you they're hiring you because of your talent and your ability to be creative. The truth is they're hiring you to solve a problem. The solution comes first. Oh, yeah. If you have the course, you may just have the course. If you're not a member, you won't have access to the accountability meetings. Facts. All our members have access to the accountability meetings where we meet every Wednesday and we talk about items like this. It's more direct. So we have meetings, we have clients or we have students that are going through a series of things. Hey, I pitched to this client. This is what they said. What do y'all think? I think you should do this. We think you should do that. Come back next week. Let's see how it worked out. So just a bunch of members, we get together and you'd be surprised. A lot of people, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people learn a lot from the accountability meeting, and most people, sometimes they don't even say nothing. They just learn from the experiences of others. Remember, we want to get information from people who are in the industry, people who are in the field, people who are actually doing this, people who understand the importance of choosing a niche, people who are actually building a business, people who want to do this full time, people who want to build a business that gets consistent clients, people that want to do six figures. That's the group you want to be around. Their problems, their issues, what they come across, and what they've overcome is of value to you because it's based off real experience. It's not somebody just even just me. It's not me sitting behind a desk telling you, but it's being in a group of people who are experiencing what you're experiencing in real time. You can learn from that group because there's mistakes that they are making that you can learn not to make while being a part of that group. There are things that they're using to fast track success that you can learn by being in the group. We had somebody last week talk about different articles they wrote and why they brought in so much traffic and new clients. I talked about a few weeks back about using free giveaways to pre-qualify clients. And we always talk about AI and tools that we use to make the business side of what we do a lot easier. And you should be using these things. Carlos said accountability meetings on Wednesdays are incredibly behind the scenes conversations that will change everything for you. So many gems we talk, share, and learn from. Absolutely. You know, you may be in a different country, right? We got members that are in the UK. We got members that are in Australia. There are things that work in those areas that don't work other places that you need to know about if you're there. Carlos also said, if you're serious about this, I encourage joining sooner than later. You'll pick up so much from us all or from all of us. I'm usually there every Wednesday with a lot of other folks. Facts. You'll realize that you have so much in common. It's not even funny. And you'll learn a lot. You'll learn. See, we can get on YouTube. There's certain stuff I can say, and there's certain stuff I can't say, right? Because YouTube owns this platform. And the accountability meeting is 100% raw. It is what it is, and we keep it 100 and we shoot it straight. We don't do the fluff. We don't have courses or content where I'm waking up out of bed and I got to film myself, jogging and making coffee and feeding my dog. Man, we're not here for the fluff. We're here to learn what we need to implement so that we can run our business. Let's talk about what we need to have in place. We even talk about the family aspect. We talk about the right partner. We talk about what you need to have going on in your life so that you can have a great business. The importance of having a good partner that's supporting and got your back, and that can help you, move forward towards a vision that they may not be able to see, that only you see. So it's important that you have that in your life. Got to have a dope partner. And what happens, how to identify when you don't have the right person? And we also think about, we talk about how to approach that person to make them the right person. Hey, this is what I need from you, partner. As I take this journey, as I move forward, this is what I need from you. I understand you can't see the vision, but I see the vision, and this is what I need to be successful. And at the end of the day, we both win from this. So things you need to know as you decide to grow. Carlos said, I watched the channel for a year before joining the Gold membership, the accountability meetings. I was nervous. I was too green, but I should have joined earlier and learned more before making mistakes. Carlos, can you say what your biggest job has been? Just the dollar amount since joining Flashfilm Academy. Are you comfortable saying that? I'm just curious. Just a dollar amount. Just somewhere, you could say north of, you ain't got to do the exact dollar amount. I would love for them to see it. So these are things that you gotta be mindful of as we grow this business. There is a lot of money to be made out here, right? Every company around you need content, all of them. Every company, every day, they need content every single day for every single platform. They need tons and tons of content. They don't need one video. You don't have a client that needs one video or one picture. They need multiple videos and pictures. Carlos says 50K since joining. That's one job. One job. So the choice is yours. It's not a get rich quick scheme. Let me say that. It ain't a pyramid scheme. It's not a get rich quick scheme. But we're going to teach you what it takes to go after clients. Carlos said that's the biggest single project north of 50K. Before joining, it was maybe 800. There you go. Let other people tell you. He said before being a member, he was getting $800 jobs. After being a member, he was getting jobs north of 500K or 50K. I'm sorry. Absolutely. It's not hard to do. It's just you're not in the right position. It's not hard to do. You just don't appeal to people who have $50,000 problems. You currently appeal to people who, just like Carlos said, got $800 problems. And that's cool, but I guarantee you're going to probably do the same amount of work for both checks. Maybe a little more customer service with the $50,000, but there are people who have $50,000 problems. You just don't know they exist or don't know how to solve their problems. You don't know how to appeal to them. That's it. There's companies that need content every single day. Everywhere. They need content. There's not a shortage of content. Most companies got LinkedIn pages, Facebook pages, Snapchat pages, TikTok pages, YouTube pages. They all need different content. They have websites, they have training, they have recruiting videos, they have internal training, external training, they have communication content. All these businesses need content every single day. They're not hiring you. That's the question you got to ask yourself. Why? Why aren't they hiring me? When you're ready to answer that question, you come join us at Flashfilm Academy, because that's the question we answer. This ain't the place where you want to be this great filmmaker and go to Hollywood. I respect that. Go carry somebody's coffee until you get moved up a position and move some C-stands until you move up. And hopefully you'll, get to where you're going, where you can be this great director, or learn how to work with the businesses around you, make money, make a living doing it, take that profit and invest in whatever project you want to invest in to get your creative rocks off. I do the same thing. I shoot movies for me because I like shooting movies. I like filming movies. That's my thing. But I'm not going to do it for my client. My client have other needs and other problems we solve so that I can get the profit and go do what I want to do creatively. However, I feel I want to express myself. So I'm not saying don't express yourself. I'm saying be smart about it. You have a skill set that is profitable if you understand how to present it to people who have problems. Period. The sooner you learn that, the better. Yeah. With that being said, I'm out. All my members, I'll see y'all tomorrow in the accountability meeting. And everybody else, I'm going to ask if you're listening to the podcast, you go ahead and give me 5 stars. If you're watching on TikTok or the Gram, hit that heart, hit that thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All right? Now, again, I'm going to leave you with the question one last time. Every business around you needs you. They need content every day. Why aren't they hiring you? That's what I want you to ask yourself. But when you're ready to answer that question, come see us over at Flashfilm Academy, because this is all we do. All right? See y'all in the future.
You've been listening to Content and Cash, a Flashfilm Academy podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and go to our webpage at www.flashfilmacademy.com.